What's up, people? JB Illusion here, and we're checking out the Toreador, I do believe. A beautiful way to die. Let's check out the clan introduction.
We do not choose to enter this life, hungering and helpless. We come into this stale and plain world. So we spend our time searching for that one sublime revelation to fill the void.
Aww.
To lose ourselves in beauty and perfection.
Oh, whoa.
Beauty can be elegant, seductive, full of pleasure,
And pain.
raw, violent, lethal. Let me help us find it, to lose ourselves. Come to
She...
I am a beautiful way to die.
I'm sure she... Of course, you're at a party, and everyone's going to be interested in you with these alpha gameplay footage. Here's my issue. She wasn't embracing him. She just flat out killed him and recorded it. That is... Well, let's delve into the Toreador, ladies and gentlemen. The Toreador, ladies and gentlemen. The beautiful monsters of kindred society. Rule number 1, if one of them invites you to a dinner party, and, you know, there aren't any other people around there, or food in front of you, and there's a camera just off to the side with that little red button that means it's recording, and she's walking to you really slowly, odds are you're the one on the menu. That was very, very dark, and the Toreador can be very dark. The Toreador are thought of as the high society kindred. They're kind of like hand in hand with the Venture in that aspect. They revere art. In fact, there's kind of this interesting dichotomy within their clan where some are known as artistes, true creators, true innovators in their crafts, in their art, and then you have the posers, people who essentially got embraced just because of their physical beauty, not what they can create. I don't know if this particular Toreador is an artist who... Actually, I think they may have mentioned artist in the trailer video. I watched a little bit of it. So the thing about it is this her art? Is she a former filmmaker who just said, you know what, I'm gonna go one step further and videotape the horribleness or just what goes on in kindred society, which is a whole Masquerade violation in and of itself, her recording herself going in to this extent. I'm fairly certain, you know, with V5, I'm not super up on V5, that in V5, you know, it's very taboo for you to be recording anything on a digital medium, especially considering what happened with the Nosferatu and ShrekNet. But I'm wondering, is she just keeping this for herself, or do we have another situation like in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1, where, you know, there were films released about specific vampires thanks to a Zemeetzi? We're going to have Death Mask Productions 2.0? I don't know, but I'm very intrigued to see where this goes, because it seems like they're taking a far darker take on the Toreador as opposed to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1, where we had Vivi, who you could argue was either a poser or an artiste. She was stripper, she owned a strip club. There is actually argument, I do believe, in Toreador... in the Toreador clan as to, you know, what is art and what isn't art, which I also find very intriguing. So let's go down and check out the actual clan, see what's going on with them. We did see in some of the pre-alpha gameplay that there's definitely, you know, presence. They got presence. You're in the club, and once you activate that, everybody's eyes are on you. It's like you're Prince and you just walked into Studio 54. Toreador. From its music, gardens, and parks, and iconic architecture, it would almost appear as though Seattle was shaped by artists, and with good reason. 2 of Seattle's former princes were Toreador. What? Okay, and they remain one of the most numerous kindred in the city, influencing the political, social, and cultural elite. The Toreador have been well entrenched within Seattle's power structure since its days as a pioneer settlement. So I kind of feel like the story is definitely going to be shaped around the Toreador. There's the Toreador. I believe she's a Toreador. We didn't really confirm that in this trailer, sadly. But I'm pretty sure she is a Toreador. This is her zone in the background here. So I think it's safe enough to say that she is a Toreador. And she's definitely going to be one of the key players. So I wonder if this has something to do with one of the former princes who, founded the city. Maybe there's a deep, dark secret somewhere there. I don't know. Let's take a look at the associated disciplines. I'm speculating because I love that. We got presence, we got awe, we got entrance, and of course they have celerity, which I can understand. So let's go to the clans and get a little bit more information on the Toreador. And of course, their trademark discipline. From its music, gardens, and parks, the iconic architecture, it would also appear as though Seattle was shaped by artists. One look at the modern landscape of downtown could paint a different picture, as if the massive cranes reshaping the city represent hands plucking the petals off the rose. Oh my goodness. So, is this a battle for the Toreador to keep their artistic haven from the Venture, who are just coming in, demolishing all the fantastic buildings and just building up soulless skyscrapers for the money? Another music venue gets demolished. A block of cookie-cutter townhouses replaces a mid-century modern home. An eccentric district becomes a family feud, shadow of itself. You will still find the Toreador on the arms of the influential and on the dance floor of exclusive clubs, but there's a sense that this clan is partying like it's their last. So that would be an incredibly interesting battle. See, for the Toreador, of course there's music, and of course there's, fine art. But architecture and some other things are considered art to some, and apparently a lot of Toreador in this area do revere the architecture. And probably a lot of the older clubs that are getting demolished by, I'm assuming, the Venture. Who else would it be, ladies and gentlemen? Obsessed with beauty in all forms. There are those Toreador who would claim that their clan only chose the most accomplished artists of each generation. Whether they wielded the brush, the pen, their voice, body, or mind, it'd only be half a lie. There are true visionaries among the Clan of the Rose, but it also contains its share of one-hit wonders and posers. There's the key word. Embraced in a moment of fleeting passion. All of them are cursed to spend eternity between the short-lived bliss of true beauty and the ever-increasing spans in between. Ever seeking the next surprise, the next experience, the next chance to feel some Toreador descend into depravity. Ennui. I had to think about that word for a second. Others fight grimly to retain the shreds of their humanity, whether by immersing or withdrawing themselves from the mortal world. Among it all, new ideas and trends constantly wash through the clan. The other kindred often look to the Toreador to guide them. The divas know this, and the shrewd among them manage to turn it to their advantage. I wonder if the woman from the trailer would specifically be called a diva. Now, let's take a look at their abilities. We've got presence. Toreador relish in their ability to turn a crowd into an audience, distraction into rapt attention, and aggression into adoration. By just entering the room, their signature discipline of presence is at the root of this supernatural charm. Awe, blood cost 2. The first active presence power allows the vampire to strike a pose that freezes all before them into adoring wonder. We saw that in the pre-alpha gameplay footage. For a short while after, these new admirers will be oblivious to anything but what they just saw. Interesting. So is that a way to technically cover Masquerade violations? Is that kind of... It's interesting. Because we could technically have, you know, something horrifying going in the background, but as long as there is a Toreador there, hitting presence, maybe having that 2nd slot upgraded, or that 5 slot upgraded. So literally, you know, somebody could be jacking a car behind somebody, but they wouldn't notice because of the supernatural presence of the Toreador. The next one happens to be Entrance. Blood cost 2. The 2nd active power forms a group of admirers around the vampire. For an extended period, these hangers-on will follow wherever the object of their adulation may go, distracting nearby enemies along the way. What? The 4th and 5th slots upgrade Entrance. So, in a firefight, that would be intriguing if you take half of the people who are coming after you. Maybe, I don't know, members of Society at Leopold, maybe just a couple members of a gang, or, I don't know, the police, the SWAT team, whatever, coming after you, and you're able to just cut that in half. And maybe they may attack and protect you. It says they will follow wherever the object of their adulation may go, distracting nearby enemies along the way. So, I'm guessing you could pick up people to take shots for you? With Celerity, I mean, you could run around and you wouldn't have to deal with that, but I wonder if there's a second kind of bonus to that. Maybe, just maybe, having a large group of people following you may be integral to a couple missions. Maybe it might be a way to get into an area that you shouldn't be allowed in. I don't know. That has a lot of intriguing uses. And then, of course, we have Celerity. Whoa. Some kindred are faster, dodge more elegantly, and can move with unimaginable grace. They use Celerity, the discipline of pushing their body speed beyond mortal imagination. Unseen Storm. Whoa. Blood cost 2. The 1st active allows the vampire to dash in any direction at such a speed as to confound their audience. They can land attacks, dodge around enemies, or get away in a lazy dust cloud. Characters struck along the way of the dash get knocked down. The 2nd slot further enhances the Unseen Storm. Then we have Accelerate. Blood cost 5. The 2nd active opens up speeds so fast that everything else in the world appears to slow down to a virtual standstill. The crowd seem frozen in their steps as the vampire dances between cars and bullet streaks and more. Clan might wish for a popular 80s synth track in the background. The 4 and the 5 slots allow the vampire to further improve their acceleration. Okay. Showing off Celerity to instant mortals is of course a Masquerade violation. Let's go back. I am so intrigued by this, mostly because we may have a battle, a political battle between the Venture and the Toreador, ladies and gentlemen. They're really trying to fight for their space. Now, I'm not entirely sure who the prince is, who the prince isn't. I think it's safe to say that if what is happening to downtown is going on, that the Venture are in charge of things. Or at least if there is a Toreador prince, the Venture have them in a bind. So it's interesting to hear about that. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of conflict between the two clans. Maybe we have to choose sides. Or maybe there might be a possibility to elevate our own clans up a little bit higher, like the Tremere, or maybe even the Bruja, and we have the Anarchs running things. I don't think the Thin Bloods... Yeah, the Thin Bloods aren't running anything. But we still have the Venture. Okay. Now, who is this last clan, ladies and gentlemen? I believe it's the Nosferatu. A lot of people might believe it's the Malkavians. A lot of people may believe that it might be another surprise clan that's just trying to slide their way in and elevate themselves within the Camarilla. I like the idea that we'll see, but it'll be interesting to also see who is really okay with whom. You know? The Toreador and the Bruja, I can't really see getting along that well. The Tremere, I really see their only allies being the Venture. The Toreador, I'm pretty sure, don't care about the Tremere. The Bruja definitely don't. And if these happen to be the Nosferatu, they're going to have a big grudge from how the Toreador gained their power. Intriguing. But there is one thing I will say. The Toreador are going to show their monstrous side, I do believe, in this video. I mean, in this video game. We've got, you know, definitely not the prim, well, she wasn't really prim and proper, but the dreamy artist's velvet velour, you know, in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1. And we also had, I do believe, Isaac Abrams, who was a Toreador, if I'm correct, who was in charge of Hollywood, who loved old movies and the structure of Hollywood, and he was trying to preserve it. But right here, we see someone breaking the rules of the Masquerade. Very, very bloodily, very, very violently, maybe to pursue their art. I do believe we're going to be seeing a darker side to the Toreador, and I'm looking forward to that. Hit me up in the comments down below with what you guys think. Please be excellent to each other. Have a nice day, and good evening, neonates. Also, tell me about some Toreador that you may have experienced in games or play, or how you think that these Toreador may differ from the ones that we saw in Bloodlines 1. Peace.